Hi guys, welcome back to Charlotte's Foliage. If you're revisiting, welcome. If you're new here, welcome. I am Charlotte with Charlotte's Foliage, and what we do here on my channel is give each other great advice about plants, and we talk about our experiences with plants and what's working and what's not working. Today what we're going to be discussing is just my favorite top 10 plants, and that I do have a wish list, and we'll have another video for that because I do have some plants that I desire to have, but for whatever reason, whether it's finances or just sitting down, taking the time to study what kind of plant care is necessary to make that plant thrive, I try to do that before I purchase a plant, and do I have the space for that plant. So without further ado, let's get into my top 10 favorite plants. And by the way, these plants are not in any order, okay? So first, what I have here is my Burle Marx philodendron, and this Burle Marx philodendron is variegated, so that's an extra special part. And also the care for this plant, you just have to give it plenty of light, but in terms of water, you can let this plant dry out between waterings. So I'll show you this. Remember, that's my variegated Burle Marx philodendron. She is really, growing for me. In fact, I'm looking at her roots now. It looks like she needs to be repotted. So that's what makes this recording nice, because you get to take a look at your plants and see what they need. Normally in the wintertime, they would say don't repot a plant, but in this case, the roots are sticking out of this plant. So that's an indicator that this plant needs to be up potted, okay? So you want to go up 2 inches more. I'm going to set this plant to the side as a reminder that I need to repot it. The next plant that I have here, and it also is variegated, and what I mean by variegated, it has some coloring in the leaves. This is a Syngonium. I used to struggle with Syngoniums, you guys, but until I learned that they like to stay a little moist, but they don't want to be real wet, okay? So when the soil is 2 inches dry, I re-water this plant. And it's only 3 stalks here, but look how beautiful and healthy this plant looks. I'll pan back so you can see. That is a variegated Syngonium, or they call it an Albo Syngonium. Okay, that's plant number 2. All right, I'm gonna put that over here. Plant number 3, this is a Hoya, and I purchased this from an Etsy supplier, and it is called a Hoya Sarawak. And it is really huge, guys. Look at the foliage. Look how big that one leaf is. I'll put my hand up next to it. As a matter of fact, I think it would probably take over. It's bigger than the palm of my hand. So yeah, that's a Hoya Sarawak, and you just take care of her by, when her foliage gets soft instead of kind of thick and rubbery, that's when you know she needs water, okay? So that's a Hoya Sarawak. That's plant number 3. Plant number 4. This is a Silver Sword philodendron, okay? I like it because of her texture, but also her color. She's almost like a bluish gray, and she's beautiful. Easy to take care of. You can let this plant dry out between waterings, and she'll love you no matter what. She's got a leaf on here that needs to come off, and that's not uncommon for lower leaves. They're older leaves, so they die off eventually. But she's putting out new growth, and she's healthy. All right? So I believe that's number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's number 5. I always forget the name of this plant, but I think I remember it this time. This is a red emerald philodendron. Look how beautiful her leaves are, and long. Look how long and strappy they are, you guys. See? Let me put my hand up against it. Look how long that leaf is compared to my hand. And then as you can see right here, that's where hence the name Red Emerald. She is pushing out a new leaf right here. So what we want to do is help her out. When they pushing out new leaves, sometimes they have a hard time. But if you spray them a little bit right here, like that, just give it a little spray, that helps that leaf unfurl, okay? If I can get my aim right. But that's a red emerald philodendron. She can dry out between waterings, and they do like a little bit of sun. So this plant is in front of a south-facing window, so it's not direct sun right up on it, but it is some light from the window, okay? Red emerald philodendron. This is a Florida green philodendron. Apparently, I like philodendrons. And I like this plant because of the shape of her leaves. They're oddly shaped. Some of them are smaller. Some of them are larger. But she continues to put out new growth. There's a new growth point right here. Okay? Yep. So you can pull that sheath back, but you have to be careful. Take that off, and that leaf will open up better. Okay? That is a Florida green. They also have a Florida ghost. Some people like that even better. But I'm happy with this. Look how big this leaf is, you guys. Let me see. My hand up against that leaf. It's huge. I love her. I need to give her some water, though. So I'll sit her with the I need to do something with over here. All right. Next is, I got to get up for this one, you guys. This big baby here is another burl marks philodendron, except for it's not variegated. It is just simply, they call it a basic burl marks philodendron, but I think she's a beauty. It looks like her foliage is airborne. This plant just continues to put out growth. I've cut this plant over 4 times, and it continues to push out new growth. If you want it to get healthy and big like this, just continue to cut it. You cut it, and it'll give you new growth. Look here. There's a new growth point right where my finger is. Let me pan back some. See that? That's new growth. Right here, where my finger is, way up top there, new growth. This plant just grows, 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 grows. It likes to dry out between waterings. It is in my kitchen, so I think it likes a little humidity, not too much. But she continues to push out new growth for me all the time. I love this plant. And she almost, the back of her leaves look almost a little chartreuse. But she's a beauty. Now, speaking of chartreuse, here's my next favorite plant. This is called a painted lady philodendron. And her leaves are like chartreuse. And she kind of, they call this plant a crawler because of the way she grows. And she's pushing out new growth too. Let me show you. See up top there where it's red at? That's how how you can tell it's getting ready to push open a new leaf. And the center and the backs of the leaves, they give out this pink color. Let me see if I can show you without spilling the plant. Hold on a second. I don't want to break her. But yeah, this is just a beautiful specimen. And I'll pan back. So yeah, she kind of reminds me a little bit about of the burl marks, but her coloration is different. And she spits out all of these, what they call aerial roots. So yeah, she's doing great. And I got her on my mantelpiece. And she does fine there. There's a south-facing window, but she's not directly in it, but she gets light from it. So yeah, and some of her leaves feel thin right now, which indicates to me that she needs some water, okay? So I got to give her some water, but she's doing good. All right, guys, I believe that was number 10. So just to cheat a little bit and give you a bonus plant that I really, really like, and I'll pan the camera over so you can see it. This plant, I have had 3 of them. They grow real well for me in the summer, but they don't in the winter, so I'm trying something new. And this is my big baby. It is a Monstera Deliciosa, and that is her right there. She's my big baby, okay? She continues to push out new growth. I've got some discoloration on some of the leaves because I'm trying to figure her out. But I love this plant, and this plant will grow extremely tall, okay? So thanks again for coming into my channel, revisiting me. And for those of you who are visiting for the first time, I want all of you guys to come back. Again, these are my top 10 plants, my favorites, and one bonus. Have a fantastic day. Drop a comment if you have any questions on where I purchased these plants, how to care for these plants, where can you get information on how to care for them, like products or websites. Let me know what you need, guys, and I'll put it there in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Bye now.